And then we okay, so you all can see after me, الدرس الثالث عشر.
الدرس الثالث عشر.
المفرد.
المفرد.
الجمع.
الجمع.
So we have الغائب. First, المذكر. حامد يذهب. حامد يذهب. حامد وعلي وهاشم يذهبون. Right, so you all see the difference, right? This is al-ghaib. What is this? Al-ghaib, third person. Ghaib, remember, ghaib means to be absent, somebody who's not there, third person. So remember, with the third person, we have the ya as the prefix, the ya. Okay? Yadhabu, yadhabuna. All right? Then for the mu'annas, we have aminatu, tadhhab, tadhhabu. Aminatu tadhhabu. Aminatu wa Maryamu wa Zainabu yadhhabna. Aminatu wa Maryamu wa Zainabu yadhhabna. All right, so secondly, we have al-mukhatab, al-mukhatabu, al-mukhatabu. This is the person who is spoken to, right? Person who is being addressed, right? Al-mukhatab. So you know the word khutbah is address. So you have al-mukhatab, the person who is being addressed, right? Or spoken to. All right? So first of all, al-muzakkar. What is muzakkar? What is muzakkar? Masculine. What is mu'annath? Feminine. Right, so let's look at it here. For the al-mukhatab, al-mukhatabu, which is second person, all the present tense verbs begins with what? Ta. Okay? For third person, all of them begin with ya. The second person, all begin with ta. There's one exception, right? The feminine singular, the third person begins with ta. All right? But all the other third person begins with what? Ya, ya. Yadhabu, yadhabuna, yadhabna. Only the anti tadhabu. Sorry. Hiya tadhabu. She went. This is the only one with ta at the beginning. For third person, okay? Dealing with second person, al-mukhatab, right? We have all of them beginning with ta. So we have what? Anta tadhabu. Say after me, anta tadhabu. Anta tadhabu. Anta tadhabu. Antum tadhabuna. Antum tadhabuna. Al-mu'annath. Anti tadhabu. Anti tadhabina. Anti tadhabina. Antunna tadhabna. Antunna tadhabna. Antunna tadhabna. All right. Al-mutakallim. This is a person speaking. Person who is speaking. All right. Al-mutakallim. So from that we get ana adhabu. Ana adhabu. Nahnu nadhabu. So again, al-mudhakkar and mu'annath, they are the same for the first person, the person speaking. Okay, so let's say it again. Ana adhabu. Nahnu nadhabu. Let's go over this again. So Hamidun, we can say huwa. Hamidun is somebody's name. We can also say huwa, he. It's third person, masculine singular, okay? So let's replace all of these here, the first two lines, with pronouns, okay? Listen to this, pronouns. So instead of Hamidun, we will say huwa, okay? Huwa yadhhabu. Huwa yadhhabu. Instead of Hamidun wa Aliyun wa Hashimun, we will say hum, they. All right? They. So we'll say hum yadhhabuna. Hum yadhhabuna. Hum yadhhabuna. Right. Hiya tadhhabu. Hiya tadhhabu. Aminatu wa Maryamu wa Zainabu yadhhabna. We can replace all of these three words or three names with hunna. So hunna yadhhabna. Hunna yadhhabna. Hunna yadhhabna. All right. Then we have anta, you, masculine singular. Anta tadhhabu. Antum tadhhabuna. Anti tadhhabina. Antunna tadhhabna. Ana adhhabu. Nahnu nadhhabu. Is that clear with everyone? Anybody doesn't understand that? Key thing to remember here. Let's just throw our minds back to the past tense verb. Past tense verb, there's no prefix to the verb. Remember that? You have the root letters, dhahaba, all of the forms of the conjugation of the verb, whether it's huwa, hiya, hum, hunna, anta, anti, all of them, there's no prefix. The first three letters will be the first three root letters of the verb. So dhahaba, you have dhahaba, dhahabat, dhahabta, dhahabti, dhahabu, dhahabna, and so on, right? So all of that is only suffixes at the end, right? With the case of present tense, what we are dealing with here, the present tense verb, there are prefixes and suffixes, okay? So the prefix is more or less what you would call the harf al-mudari', or the prefix of the present tense verb. And we said that there are basically four prefixes that we add, right? One is the ya, one is the ta, one is the noon, and one is the hamza and the alif, all right? So you have either dhahaba yadhhabu, the ya, or you have dhahaba tadhhabu with the ta. See, either the ya or the ta is added. And then for the first person, we have ana adhhabu, the hamza, all right? Or nahnu nadhhabu, the noon added at the beginning. You all see that? We have the hamza here added onto the dhahaba. Then you have the noon here added onto the dhahaba, nadhhabu. So these are the four prefix letters that are added on to the present tense verb. Any questions on that? All right, and then the suffix would be added at the end, of course, and it depends on the conjugation. If it's like ana adhhabu, there's no suffix added on there. Nahnu nadhhabu, no suffix, nothing at the end, okay? If it's anta tadhhabu, again, no suffix. Hiya tadhhabu, no suffix. Huwa yadhhabu, again, no suffix, only the prefix letter. All right, so these are the forms. Inshallah, we'll go through it. And as I said, you can print them out, you can write it out in our notebooks, and try to memorize. Okay, so let's go through the exercises now. تمارين exercises. واحد أكمل الجمل الآتية بوضع الفعل ذهب في المضارع بعد إسناده إلى الضمير المناسب. So you have to complete the following sentences. Complete the following sentences by putting the verb ذهب in the present tense form after you attach to it the correct ضمير المناسب, suitable ضمير, right? So basically the different conjugation forms you're looking for, all right? Now we still have to go through the grammatical analysis of this present tense form of the verb. Inshallah, we'll do that next couple of, well, within the next couple of sessions or so. Right now we're just going through the different changes that happens. Let's get a handle on that, and then we'll go into the conjugation, the grammatical analysis of it. All right. So the first one here, we have a sentence, of course, with a space. You have to fill in the verb ذهب in its suitable form. So the first one is في أي ساعة something blank إلى الجامعة يا عائشة. في أي ساعة something إلى الجامعة يا عائشة. Who wants to try the first one? تذهبين. نعم. So it's somebody speaking directly to Aisha. Okay. So therefore we have to use second person. And it's not masculine, it's feminine. So second person feminine, and of course Aisha is singular, so it's second person feminine singular. It is تذهبين. Okay. So ذهب يذهب تذهب, and then here, or rather, أنت تذهبين. Okay. Next one. الطلاب something إلى الملعب بعد الدرس. الملعب is what again? Playground. نعم. الملعب is the playground. All right. الطلاب, the students, something إلى الملعب بعد الدرس. The students went to the playground after the class.
يذهبون.
ذهب. So what are you going to say?
يذهبون.
يذهبون, okay? Because it's طلاب is plural. So we're going to say يذهبون. Now, if we had put the verb first to start the sentence, then remember, if we are starting a sentence with the verb, we don't have to bother about the number, whether it's singular, dual, or plural. We just have to bother with the gender, whether it is masculine or feminine. So if we had put the verb first, we are allowed to say يذهب, singular form, الطلاب. So even though the fa'il is plural, the verb can be singular once the verb comes first. Okay? So in this case, the verb is after the mubtada. All right? So therefore it is, we have to use the full form, يذهبون, plural. Okay? So الطلاب يذهبون إلى الملعب بعد الدرس. Again, الطلاب يذهبون إلى الملعب بعد الدرس. So you all say after me. الطلاب يذهبون إلى الملعب بعد الدرس. نعم. Next one. أنا something إلى السوق يوم يوم الجمعة فقط. Right? أنا something إلى السوق يوم الجمعة فقط. Right? So the verb
أذهب أذهب
أذهب. نعم. So we use any
first person.
Hamza on the Aleph. So أنا أذهب. نعم. أنا أذهب إلى السوق يوم الجمعة فقط. Next one.
What is fakat? What is fakat?
فقط means only. فقط. So it means I only go to the market on the day of Jum'ah. Okay. Right. Arba'a. We're gonna try this one now. متى something بزيارة المدير يا إخوان.
متى تذهبون؟
نعم. So إخوان masculine plural. Okay. إخوان. So therefore we have to use, and of course they have to be spoken to directly. So it's second person. So you will say تذهبون. Okay. So again, how you break it down? ذهب يذهب تذهب تذهبون. متى تذهبون لزيارة المدير يا إخوان. We'll try the next one. رقم 5. Let me read it first. أمي something إلى المستشفى كل يوم لأنها مريضة.
تذهبين.
نعم.
تذهب
تذهب. Right, so remember, she is not being spoken to directly, she's being spoken about. Right? So look at the context here. My mother goes to this hospital every day because she is sick. Okay? So what? So therefore it's not second person, it's third person. So we will say تذهب. Remember, with present tense form of the verb, second person masculine is the same as the third person feminine. So anta masculine, anta تذهب, here third person, here تذهب. Anta تذهب, here تذهب. Same thing. How do you know the difference? Just through the context of the sentence. All right. So here is أمي تذهب إلى المستشفى كل يوم لأنها مريضة. Right. Next one, رقم 6. something إلى المكتبة كل مساء يا بناتي. Who wants to try that one?
تذهبن.
نعم. أتذهبن إلى المكتبة كل مساء يا بناتي. So you know بنات is what? Banaat is plural for bint. So therefore it's feminine plural and we have to use the feminine plural. Now is it second person or third person? Second person, because you see yeah, right? So this is vocative particle, or when you're addressing somebody, you say yeah, so and so, or so and so, right? So we know it's second person feminine plural. So therefore تذهبن إلى المكتبة كل مساء يا بناتي. نعم أحسنتم. رقم 7. لما لا something إلى المطار معنا يا عباس.
تذهب
Yeah, so it's second person.
تذهب
Ta, yes. It's the second person. Immediately it starts with what?
Ta.
With ta. Starts with ta, right? And we have to see if it's masculine or feminine. We know Abbas is what? Masculine. So therefore, is it plural or singular? It's singular. So it's
Singular.
masculine,
تذهب.
singular. So it's ta. So we say lima la tadhhabu ila al-matari ma'ana ya Abbas. Next one.
Can you translate that?
All right. So lima is a combination of well, lima is like why, right? So it's li and ma for what? It literally means for what, or in English we say why, right? La tadhhabu, you do not go. So why do you not go ila al-matari, to the airport, ma'ana, with us, ya Abbas, O Abbas. Or it would be in this present tense, you said, why are you not going? So why are you not going ila matar, to the airport, with us? Ma'a and na is us, right? Ma'a means with and na means us. With us. Ya Abbas, O Abbas. رقم 8 نحن something إلى الجامعة بسيارة الأجرة. سيارة الأجرة, that means a taxi, right? Ujur is from ajar or hire, fee, right? So it's like سيارة الأجر is Ujra is a taxi, right? Or car for hire, literally means a car for hire, which is a taxi, right? So نحن something إلى الجامعة بسيارة الأجرة. Who wants to try that one?
Adhabu.
نعم, easy. نحن نذهب. نحن نذهب. All we add is a noon at the beginning, right? So we have نحن نذهب, right? Next one, أبي something إلى المصنع في الساعة العاشرة. Let's try this one. أبي something إلى المصنع. مصنع is a factory, right?
يذهب.
يذهب, نعم. Third person, masculine singular, all right? So, Abi yadhhab. Right, so remember, we are not speaking to our father, we're speaking about him, right? So you say, Abi, my father. If you're speaking to your father, you won't say, my father, right? Unless you have the ya in front of it. You say, ya Abi, right? But you don't have that ya there, so you're not speaking to the father, you are speaking about the father, about your father, right? So you say, Abi, my father, yadhabu, he goes, third person, masculine singular. Abi yadhabu ila al-masna'i fi sa'ati al-ashirati, at 10 o'clock. Right. رقم 10. Number 10. Who wants to try this one? أخواتي something إلى المدرسة بالحافلة.
يذهبن.
نعم, يذهبن. أخواتي, my sisters, يذهبن. Right? So he is feminine, third person feminine, plural. Right? يذهبن إلى المدرسة بحافلة. My sisters go to school by bus or with the bus. Right? Any questions on this exercise? رقم 2 أكمل الجمل الآتية بوضع فعل مضارع مناسب في الفراغ. Right? Complete the following sentences by placing a present tense verb, a suitable present tense verb in the spaces. Right? So now you have to choose your own verb. Before they gave you the verb dhahaba, now you have to figure out the verb that is most suitable for that sentence, and then also conjugated according to the situation in the sentence, and then insert it. All right. So let's see. Something اللغة العربية يا سيدي. Right, so we ask a question here. You see the question mark at the end, right? And of course, we could ask the question with hal or a, right? Hal or a. So here we asking a question with a, something اللغة العربية يا سيدي. Right, so what do you think is a suitable word for here?
تفهموا تفهموا
تعرفوا, you say?
Let's understand.
Understand? Yeah. نعم فهيمة. نعم. أحسن. أتفهم اللغة العربية يا سيدي. Sayyid is like a title of respect, right? يا سيدي. So we have the verb فهيمة يفهم. فهيمة يفهم. And here we're speaking directly to somebody because we see the vocative particle, yeah. So once you see yeah, you know he's speaking directly to somebody, all right? So we know it's automatically what? The second person. Second person, all right? So second person begins with what prefix? We said the ta, right? So the ta begins the second person conjugation of the verb. And of course, Sayyidi is masculine, so we would say masculine singular, second person, right? So it's tafhamu, right? Fahima, yafhamu, tafhamu. Anta, tafhamu. Now, Ahsan. رقم 2 نحن something كرة القدم كل مساء. So كرة القدم is football كل مساء every evening. So نحن what?
نلعب.
نلعب. So لعب لعب لام عين با لعب. All right, let's see if we could write. لام عين با. With la I ba means to play or he played, right? So then you add on to that yal abu. Ya fatha, ya, join to the lam, yal. And then the I know this kasra takes the fatha. So this kasra changes the fatha to the present tense. Remember we said when you learn a past tense verb, you have to learn the present tense with it. Mainly because what? The vowel in the middle to change between the past tense and the present tense. Here, the past tense has a kasra in the middle letter, but the present tense has what? A fatha. Okay. Other than that, the patterns are more or less the same, right? With the ya or the ta at the beginning, right? And the suffixes at the end. That pattern is consistent throughout. So we just have to, the only thing we need to learn is the vowel in the middle letter for the present tense verb. So this past tense is what? La'iba. Present tense is yal'abu. Yal'abu. This will be bu at the end, right? Yal'abu. In this sentence here, we are saying ya sayyidi. So instead of yal'abu, Sorry, not that one. What are we doing? Nahnu. Nahnu something plural color. So instead of the ya, we would change that into noon. Right? Nal'abu. Nal'abu. Right? Nahnu nal'abu. We play. Nahnu nal'abu, we play. Right? Is that okay with everyone? Noon, lam, ain, ba. Right? Nal'abu. Checking this off. All right, going again. رقم ثلاثة. أفي. أفي مهاجر الجامعة something يا إخوان. سكن يعني verb. سكن يسكن. What does سكن means?
Live.
To live or to reside. Good. So how we would apply that here now?
Use the third person plural masculine.
Right.
Second.
The second person masculine plural, which will be what? Taskununa. So it's sakana yaskunu taskunu. And then you make it plural by adding the waw and the noon at the end. Taskununa. Right? You all understand that? Let's see. Let's go here. Sakana. Sakana. Right? Sin ka. No, sakana. And this changes to
Yes. Yes.
yaskunu. All right? Sakana yaskunu. And then that changes to sa. So you get taskunu. Taskunu. Right? And then that changes now to plural. Oops. Right. Taskununa. And this is a noun here. This is a noun for the root letters, right? Taskununa. So what is added on in the end? The wow and the noon. Wow and the noon. So the ta is added at the beginning. We still have the root letters, sin, kaf, noon, and then you have the added wow and the noon at the end. Taskununa. Taskununa. Right? Is that okay with everyone? Sakana. Sakana. Yaskunu. Taskunu. Taskununa. Right? Taking this off now. Next one, who wants to try the next one? Let me read it first. At-tajiru, something. Dakakinahum, dakakinahum, fi as-sa'ati at-tasi'ati.
التاجر والتاجر التجار
Sorry, at-tujjar, naam, ahsan. At-tujjaru, something. Dakakinihim, dakakinahum, في الساعة التاسعة. التجار نعم أحسنت. تجار is plural of التاجر. Tajer means the businessman. So what we will see here?
التجار يفتحون دكاكينهم في الساعة التاسعة.
نعم أحسنت. التجار, the merchant or the businessman. We can use the verb فتح, فتح, which means he opened, right? فتح. So we're gonna, of course, this is third person. We are speaking about who? The tujar, the merchants, all right? The merchants. So we are speaking about them means they're not here. They're not in the conversation. In. So we have to use the third person, all right? And of course, it's plural, masculine plural, right? So we would say at-tujar yaftahuna. Yaftahuna. So you have fataha, which means to open. Fataha, yaftahu, and then you make it plural. Yaftahuna. All right? So at-tujaru yaftahuna dakakinahum fi as-sa'ati at-tasi'ati. Right? So the dakakin is plural of dukkan. Dukkan means a store. So plural is dakakin. Why is it dakakinahum? Why is there fatha in nun?
هم
Because
التجار
منصوب of the object مفعول به.
right, maf'ul, na'am. The maf'ul bihi is the object. It is the thing that is being open, right? So fataha is to open, yaftahu, yaftahuna, opens, right? So the merchants open their stores. So the home at the end, it means their, okay? Their stores, dakakinahum, their stores, right? في الساعة التاسعة at 9 o'clock, right? رقم 5 something المدرس الدرس على السبورة. Right. You have a teacher, you have a lesson, and you have the blackboard. What do you think it could be the verb at the beginning?
يكتب.
نعم. So يكتب المدرس الدرس على السبورة. What is the sabura? A sabura is the blackboard. In our case, you have a whiteboard. Right? So, of course, al-mudarris is the teacher and ad-dars is the lesson. So, kataba yaktubu. Kataba yaktubu. We are speaking about the mudarris is being spoken about. So, therefore, we have to use the third person. All right? The third person. So it's kataba yaktubu. Yaktubu al-mudarrisu ad-darsa ala saburati. Ad-darsa because the dars is the maf'ul bihi. All right? Good. So you all say after me. Yaktubu al-mudarrisu
المدرس
ad-darsa
درس
على السبورة.
على السبورة.
يكتب المدرس
يكتب المدرس
الدرس
درس
على السبورة.
على السبورة.
Right. So we have here, let us break down this sentence a little bit quickly. So say after me, يكتب فعل مضارع. Right. فعل مضارع مرفوع بالضمة. Right. المدرس
المدرس
فاعل مرفوع
مرفوع
وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة. الدرس
الدرس صح
مفعول به
مفعول به
منصوب
منصوب
وعلامة نصبه الفتحة
فتحة
الظاهرة. Now, so what did we just do there? We did what we call the i'rab sentence. All right. So we said what each word is. We stated 4 things. What are the 4 things? We stated what the word is, whether it is the fa'il, fa'il, or the maf'ul bihi. We stated the case it is in. Sorry, we're saying 3 things, right? But it's only learning about the 4th thing. We said the word. We said what it is. We said what case it is in. And we said the sign of that case. The sign. How do we know it is in that case? What's the sign of it? All right. So these are these 3 things. So again, yaktubu. You're right. It's right. So that says the fi'l mudari'. Marfu' is nominative, right? And the sign of it being nominative is the dhamma al-zahira, the clear dhamma. Al-mudarris, it is what? It is the fa'il. It is marfu'. It is nominative. وعلامة رفعه, and the sign of it being nominative is what? Al-dhamma al-zahira, the dhamma on the last letter, which is al-mudarrisu, the dhamma on the last letter, okay? Al-mudarrisu ad-darsa, all right?
منصوب
يكتب المدرس الدرس على السبورة. So this is the present tense form of the verb. This is the do of the verb, the fa'il, and this is the maf'ul bihi. All right? Mansub. وعلامة نصبه, and the sign of it being in the accusative form is the fatha al-zahira. The fatha on the seen on the last letter, okay? That's the sign of it being in the accusative case, because it is maf'ul bihi, it's the object of the sentence, okay? Is that clear with everyone? All right, who's doing the next one? رقم 6. أخوات حمزة something بالجامعة. What is a suitable verb for that? أخوات حمزة يدرسن بالجامعة. The sisters of Hamza, or Hamza's sisters, study in university, right? So you have darasa, yadrusu, tadrusu. So you have yadrusu and yadrusna, means the feminine plural study, all right? Yadrusna. Good. رقم 7 أنا something القرآن كل صباح. What's a good verb for here?
أقرأ.
نعم. أنا أقرأ. قرأ يقرأ أقرأ. نحن نقرأ. We read. Case أنا أقرأ. I read. القرآن كل صباح. I read the Quran every morning. Every morning. Right? So say that after me. أنا أقرأ القرآن. أنا أقرأ القرآن كل صباح. نعم. Next one. في أي محطة something يا أخي. Remember محطة? Was it محطة again? محطة. Is it? Buddy? Huh?
Station.
The station. Right. The station or the bus stop. Right? Well, more station, right? Bus stop and we are not or something, right? So في أي محطة something يا أخي. Oh my brother. Oh my brother. So first of all, you see the ya, so you know somebody is being spoken to, so we have to use the second person. And then we have who is being spoken to, masculine or feminine. Akhi, masculine. Of course, it's singular. So it's second person, masculine, singular. Now we just have to figure out which verb to use here. Nazala, now. So nazala means to descend or to come down, right? So we have here nazala yanzilu tanzilu. Right. So في أي محطة تنزل يا أخي. نعم. رقم 9. أختي something 3 لغات. لغات is plural for لغة. لغة is a language. لغات is languages. So 3 لغات. أختي, you can say عرف يعرف, to know, right? So أختي, speaking about somebody, right? So it's not first person, it's not second person, it's third person. The third person feminine singular is the same as second person masculine singular, which is فعل يفعل تفعل تعرف. نعم. So أختي تعرف 3 لغات. My sister knows 3 languages. Good. All right, so let's go quickly to the next exercise. صحح الجمل الآتية. Correct the following sentences. Correct the following sentences. So we have a mistake in each of the following sentences. Let's go through them and correct them. Okay. واحد يا مريم أتعرف رقم هاتف المديرة. Where's the mistake here? Of course, we're looking at the verbs, right? We're doing verbs. So we have to look at the verb, look at the form of the verb, and see if it's correct or not. All right? Yeah, Mariamu. So we're speaking to somebody. So it's second person. Masculine, feminine. Mariam is feminine. Right?
عارفين.
Naam. Ta'rifina. So Arafa, ya'rifu. Ta'rifu. And feminine is what? Ta'rifina. يا مريم أتعرفين رقم هاتف المديرة. So say after me. يا مريم
يا مريم
أتعرفين رقم هاتف
أتعرفين رقمها
المديرة.
المدير
رقم 2 يدخلون الطلاب الفصل قبل دخول المدرس. Right, so we deal with طلاب and we have, well, we're not speaking directly to them, we're speaking about them. So it's third person, masculine, plural. And we have the correct form of the verb there. يدخلون. So where's the mistake? There's no mistake, right? What do you think?
The verb is correct. Very good.
Sorry?
What a verbal sentence.
Yes. Verbal sentence starts with a verb. So therefore, what's the rule?
So use singular.
Use singular, correct. So we use the singular here because it starts with the verb. So instead of saying يدخلون, we can say يدخل. يدخل الطلاب الفصل. The students entered the classroom. قبل دخول المدرس. Before the entrance of the teacher. Next one.
What's translation for the first one?
يا مريم O Maryam أتعرفين رقم هاتف المديرة. O Maryam, do you know the telephone number of the principal, female principal, مديرتي? Right? Raqam is number and hatif is phone. So phone number of the principal. The second one is يدخل الطلاب. The students entered الفصل, the classroom, قبل دخول المدرس, before the entrance of the teacher. Next one, الطبيبات يخرجون من المستشفى الساعة الواحدة. So the female doctors, they exit or they leave the hospital at 1 o'clock. What is the very mistake is there? The verb, right? Of course, the verb. What do you have to say? نعم يخرجن. Right?
Change to يخرجن.
Yes, so يخرجون will be يخرجن because it's what? Feminine plural and third person. So therefore we use the ya at the beginning and the feminine nun at the end. يخرجن. رقم 4 يجلسن الطالبات الجدد في الصف الأخير. So here the mistake, of course, we're looking at is the verb. So what do we say here? We say يخرجن الطالبات. Because we're starting with the verb, we can use the word singular. So what's this feminine singular? Third person. It will be, sorry, not يخرج. تجلسن. Sorry. يجلسن. So it will be what? تجلسu. Tajlisu. Tajlisu is third person feminine singular. So tajlisu at-talibatu al-juludu fi safh al-akhir, in the last line. The new female student sat or sits in the last line.
Which
All right, so I'll pause here with this exercise. Please attempt the rest here. Any questions you have? This is, they give us the full sentences here. We just have to find the mistake in the verb and find the correct what? The correct form of the verb. Okay? So this is the homework here. رقم 3 1 إلى 10 1 to 10. Right? Now the last part of this exercise, of this lesson or chapter, is this page رقم 4. It's not an exercise, it's just a note. So let's look at this note here before we close off today, right? تأمل ما يلي. Observe what follows. So this basically is giving us a breakdown of the present tense verb, what each part or component of it represents. So let's look at it, and we will look at this in a little more detail next week. I'm just introducing it here so that at least we can keep it in mind. So we have the verb yadhabu. Look at this. We have the root verb dhahaba, dhahaba. What did I say? We add at the beginning. The prefix is either ya, ta, hamza, or noon. Right? So these four are really harf al-mudari. So look how we break it down here. Yadhabu, yadhabu. Ya represents what? The ya is equal to what? Harful mudari, the present tense letter that is added at the beginning. Then you have the root verb dhahaba. So these are the root letters, dhahaba. Then at the end you have damirun mustatirun, which is the understood pronoun. Understood pronoun, right? Mustatir is from the word sitar or satara, from which you get the verb sitar. I think sitar is also in other languages too, Urdu or Hindi or something. You use sitar, which is really like a curtain or something that blocks off something, right? So sitar is like something hidden or screened off. So damir mustatir is something that is hidden, right, or screened. So these are the three components of this present tense verb dhahaba. Sorry, yadhabu. Yadhabu, right? Then you have another example here. Yadhabuna. What do we have here in terms of components? We have the ya, which is what again? Harful mudari. Harful mudari. Present tense letter. Right? Then we have the root verb dhahaba. Dhahaba. Then we have the waw, which is in this case, is a dhamir which represents the fa'il, the doer of the verb. And then you have the noon, which is alamatu rafi'i. Alamatu rafi'i. So I won't get into this further because it's already 9:15. So you all appreciate how the present tense verb is broken up. We have the present tense letter, which is as I said, the ya, the ta, the hamza, or the noon at the beginning. All right. Then we have the root letters, and then we have something at the end. All right. We will look at this again next week, inshallah ta'ala. Any questions or comments before we go? All right. So jazakumullah khair. May Allah bless you and keep us all steadfast on His way. Inshallah, we close off now with dua for kafara and surah al-Asr. Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wal 'asr. Innal insana lafi khusr. Illa alladhina amanu wa 'amilus salihat. Tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullah.